Hi, welcome to my next session on Angular 4 learning series, uh, which is Angular for routing nested child routes. So this is in continuation with the previous session that we learnt about Angular 4 routing or even Angular 2 routing, you can say. So we look further how we can have a nested child routes. So in a real-time application, there can be a scenario where the application components are in a tree structure. Like if you take the last example that we had done, which I still have that code with me. So I start my server using ngserve, and then I start my application using any of the browser that supports Angular 2, and in the URL typing localhost and port number 4200. So this is what we did in the last time. So it was just first level of routing where there are no child components. It is just like when I'm clicking home, so it is showing me home component. When we are clicking on Java, it is showing me Java component. When we are clicking on Android, it is showing me Android component. So this is what we learned. And if you have a quick look through the code were very simple. We had Android component just saying that this is Android page. We had Java component inside views folder we had created, which just says this is Java page with all the div style and the div background color. Okay, and then we had a home component saying this is a home page, same way with different background colors. And then we had created a configuration file called approute.route.ts, and here we have imported all those three components, and we also imported routes component from Angular router, and we create a constant, export it. Why we need to export it? So that it is visible in the other components as well. So just like we export a class, we can export variables also. So routes is a kind of variable of type routes, and routes is nothing but array of objects, and each object is nothing but have two key value pairs. First one is the path, which defines that what is the path pattern you give in the URL, type in the URL, and what component it is mapped to. So if it is empty, means by default it will call home component. If the URL contains Java, Java as the if we append Java in the URL, it will call Java component. If we append Android in the URL, it will call Android component. And then we go to the HTML part, and there we are using a directive called router link. It's an Angular inbuilt directive. Router link is equal to, we give this pattern, slash pattern means root, that is the default page, it is home. So if I click on home, it is the reference link, it will have this pattern, and this pattern means if you go to app route ts, this pattern means empty pattern, means home page. If I click on Java link, it will generate this pattern, a link of this pattern, slash Java. So if Java is clicked, it will call Java component, similarly Android component. Okay, then finally we had to go to app module, and here we have to add all the components that we are using in the application. And in addition, we also had to import router module and the routes file. So all the components are declared over here in your declarations, and then router module which we have imported. So we can declare router module in the imports, because all the modules come in imports array. So if router module has got a method called for route, and that method takes a route configuration, an array of object, that is the path and component which we have set over here in app.routes, which is referenced by routes. So it takes that parameter, and this whole thing again return a new module. So this entire thing is a set of module, and this module will have all the configuration of path is to component mapping. And this way when we run the application, we get this, see home. Here nothing in the URL, root URL means home. If I say Java, that means Java is appended to the URL. So it will call the component Java, and Android means it will call the component Android. Fine. Now let's proceed further on nested child route. So say for example, I have got an application something like this. Say the root contains home. Okay, then it contains Java. Okay, now Java itself contains a child. Say for example, I'll just represent it with tab. Java contains say Java swing page, and Java also contains say two child page. So Java itself contains two child page called say Java Spring, and similarly we have got in the root Android. Okay, so let's keep it simple. So I'll just demonstrate for Java, and for the other part you can try it out yourself. It is the same concept. Okay, say for example I'll have two components, Java Swing and Java Spring, and that will be again a child component of Java. Okay, so let's see how we can implement this child routing. Okay, first step, if you look at it, the first step should be to create these two components, Java Swing and Java Spring. So I already have the component ready, so it saves me some time. So I already typed it before this session. So Java Spring component, I'm just taking a very simple component, import component Angular core, so component decorator, and here I don't need to take selector, just template is enough. Because I'm not calling it by selector, I'm just calling it by component name, so template is enough. So I'm writing it as a multi-line, though it is a single line, I don't need to take these backticks. This character is called backticks, as I explained in one of my session. So not a single quote. If you are writing single quote, then you can write template in one line only. But if you want to write template in multi-line template, then you can take backticks. Okay, this is the backtick. That character is just with your tilde character on the keyboard. Okay, so this is on my multi-line, though this is normal. Okay, even if I break it into C, if I break this into multi-line, it will work because I have taken the tilde character. That H2 is missing slash H2. Otherwise you can write in a single line and take the single quotes. Okay, same way we have got Java Swing component. I have created Java Swing component also same way. So this is Java Swing screen, so slash H2 I have forgotten because I simply copied pasted, so I even pasted with error. So this is my Java Swing component. So these two components are ready. Now I have to connect these two components as a child component of my Java component. So this is my main Java component. Okay, so here what I will do, I'll put some HTML template, some link in the main component. In the Java component I'll put some link, like here if I see currently, if I go to Java, so this is Java page, it is just one text, H2 text. So below this let me put some anchor tag, which will be a link for the sub pages, the child pages. Okay, so this also I have kept it typed, so we save some time. Okay, this is for Android, no problem, will take it for okay, let me do one thing, let me type it because that is for Android. So a router link, same way, which is a directive for the router, clicking on the router. So a router link is equal to double quotes, and then we can take an array, and then we can take a single quote string. Okay, so after Java, if somebody is clicking on say slash Java, say somebody wants to go to Java Swing, so I want Swing to be under Java, so slash Java slash Swing it will be. Okay, and say I name it as Swing. These are components of Java actually, so you can take any example. I'm just taking it as an example, easy for me to demonstrate. So I just copy this, and there is one more child component, say it is a Spring, Java Spring, another framework of Java. So let me keep it all small, and anchor name will be okay. So this is the second step. I create this the links, router link. So if somebody clicks on Swing, then it will try to go to this URL slash Java slash Swing, and in the app routes we'll define this pattern. This pattern will map to Swing component, this pattern should map to Spring component. Okay, now as we learned from our previous session that to display any child page, the routed page, we need something called router outlet, a placeholder after which your page will be loaded, after the tag after which your page will be loaded. That is called router outlet, which we have already seen in our previous session. So just keep an empty router outlet. You can write something in between also, that your child page will appear over here, but I am leaving it as blank. Let's keep it very simple. Okay, so our second step is also completed. So we create two components, then we create a link for those components. First the link, the component is not yet mapped. This is just a link I am creating. If somebody clicks on swing, it will try to call a pattern with localhost 4200/java/swing. If somebody clicks on spring, it will try to call localhost port 4200/java/spring. That's it, nothing more than this. So if I just run the application like this, okay, so see, if I come to Java, see, okay, this is still not complete, so that is why it is not letting me navigate to that. Yeah, now it is refreshed. Okay, so you see the swing component, spring component has come. So I have not given some space. You should give some space. Let's do one thing. Let me give a line break so that there is a proper readability. Okay, now let's come, wait for it to get refreshed. Okay, now you see /java, the URL pattern. Now if I click on swing, see, nothing happens. Okay, if I click on spring, nothing happens. Why? Because I have to still map it, which I have not done it yet. Now the third step will be go to approute.ts, the configuration file, and then first you import those components over here. Import, so what was the name of the component? Java swing, right? Java swing component. Okay, always give a space as a good practice. Even if you don't give space, it is fine, but for tooling purpose you can give some space. Okay, from, so what is the path? Dot views slash, that is java dot swing dot component. We already have it here, and then I just simply copy it, paste it, and this will have Java Spring component. So we have to import both the component. Okay, and the Spring component is present in. Okay, so we have both these components now. So this will be a child of Java component. So go to this Java component configuration, and over here we already have two keys, that is path and component. Now you do one thing, just put a comma, let me break the line, doesn't matter if I break the line. Okay, and take another third component called children. Okay, this component you call it children, and here you will have an array. Okay, and this children array will again consist of, it is just like your main route. The way you are defining main route and array, inside that you have got objects with path and component. So again you can write children, and inside that array you can repeat the same thing like you have done over here. Okay, so children, so again I'll take this object, first object, so I'll say path colon, okay, path colon. So I have to give the child URL, how the child URL will be accessed. So child URL, as I mentioned, we can have the child URL just by typing, see, child URL means something like this. We can have /java/swing. Okay, and it should be mapped to just similarly to what we did before. The only thing is, the change is that it will come as a children now. So component name, so which component to call when this URL is being hit? We have to call Java swing component, Java swing component. Okay, logical. Okay, and then just copy paste this and modify this for the second component. What is the second component? That is the spring. So the pattern will be Java Spring. If the pattern the URL this path, then call Java Spring component, Spring. Okay, fine. So this is okay, clear? Okay. Now, so first step was to have the component created, that is Java Swing component and Java Spring component. Second step was to define the router link in the main Java component page, which we did over here, okay, in the embedded template. Third part, so that it generates this URL whenever this is clicked, and when this URL is generated, we have to map the configuration for this URL. So this will come as a children of main Java component, okay, because I want to place it as a child of this Java component, okay. And then finally we have to tell the as we follow the rule in Angular, whatever components we create, whatever routes we create, we have to finally go and tell the module about it. We have to inform it in the module. So we come to app.module.ts. So here we have to import all those components. So let me do one thing. Let me copy this part so that I have to type less. Just need to modify it. So this is Java Swing component, and here I have to say java.swing.component. Same way copy paste, and we will have Java Spring component, okay, from Java Spring, okay. And then what we do next, since this is a component, it will come inside declarations array, okay. Same goes for Java Spring component as well, and let's save it. Now let's run this application. So let's see whether this application builds or not. Okay, it is giving some error, so let's see what is the error. Java Swing component is not part of ng module. Okay, well, let's see why it is not recognizing Java Swing component. Okay, okay, we have already given it. Okay, maybe that is still not yet fully refreshed. It is still refreshing. Okay, now another Java Swing component content start with a slash. Okay, okay, fine. It is saying that slash is not required over here in the path, so that we need to check. Okay, that was in app. Okay, app routes. Okay, let's see if there's any more issue, we will debug it. Yeah, now it is fine. Okay, because that URL already gets appended slash from here, so we don't require that. Okay, home, then we come to Java, now we come to Swing. Okay, still there is some issue of cannot match any. Okay, slash, actually I just did the mistake of reversing it. Here there will be no slash, I have given a slash over here. Slash will be over here in the template of Java component. So where's that Java component? Let's open it. This is the Java component. Okay, okay, so this at times causes lots of issue, so we have to check it. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so Spring, this is a Java Spring component, this is Java Swing component. Okay, fine. So we have achieved nested route. Okay, so how we are giving the slash, so be very careful about that. Sometimes we give a slash over here and just need to see how is your URL pattern. Okay, so by mistake I have given slash over here, which I should not have done. Okay, so that is why it was giving the issue. Okay, and if I give a slash over here, then I have to mention it. Okay, fine. So let me summarize it before I wrap this session. So what were the steps? So first step was to create the components, the child components, which I already did, Java Swing component and Java Spring component. Second step was go to your main component, that is the Java component over here, And here you have to define the router link, like how this will be routed for Java slash swing, for Java slash spring. Okay, and don't forget to place a router outlet, otherwise it will not be displayed. It requires a router outlet tag. Okay, third step, go to app.route.ts where we have done all the routing configuration, and in the existing configuration, route configuration of path Java and component Java component, include one more parameter, key value, that is called children, and here include the array of objects, and these objects are same as the objects we have done before in the parent, for the parent components. Okay, so those objects will contain path and component key value pair. So here you have the path, what will be your path and what will be your component that will map to this path. Okay, and then finally you have to tell app module what are the components you are using. So here I import all those components that I have created, that I have newly created, and then put the component in the declaration. All the component, directives and pipes, as you have seen in the previous session, they will all come under the declarations array, and then finally run the application. And if you look at the URL, you will see like how it is getting appended. So swing, so slash Java swing. Okay, see this 2 times Java has come. The reason is because I have given, if you see this app route, I have given slash Java, this Java swing. I don't need this actually, otherwise unnecessarily 2 times it will come. So I can just give swing and just give spring, and then we come to Java component.ts, and here also we need to remove this, otherwise it will take the URL as Java/Java/spring as we saw. So that's it. Now let's save it and let's run the application. So we see that now it is coming. So if you look at the URL, now no more we have Java appended 2 times. Okay. Okay, so this is all about our Angular router nested child routes. I hope this session was fruitful for you and beneficial for you, and your concept was clear on this. Still, if you have any queries, please do feel free to post your comments, and if you like this video tutorial, then please do press like and share with your friends. So thanks very much for watching my video, and bye bye.